Maharaj. In fact, we were fortunate to see you, how you deal with different Sri Vaishnavas and even with Vijavasis and different sects very expertly. And that gives us a lot of inspiration, Maharaj. Maharaj, can I ask another small question, Maharaj? One more small question.
Well, we may be giving honor to all of the question is that deviating us from our service to Prabhupada? If it isn't, then it's very healthy and very satisfying to Krishna. Yes?
Yes, Maharaj. As recently I was reading in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the son of Prithu Maharaj, who is called as Vijitashva, so he saw Indra stealing the horse in the sacrificial arena, and he did not kill him because he had transformed his form into looking like a saintly person. And later on Indra becomes pleased with him and gave him the name Antardana and also gave him a benediction that he can disappear and all. Because Indra was happy that he didn't kill me, like that. And later on when Vijitashva becomes a king, he could not exact taxes from the people because he was a bit lenient with the people. And in the pretext of performing sacrifices, he had an early retirement and he went to forest because he didn't want to force the people to give taxes. And then I read that, and very soon he perfected his life and he went back home, back to Godhead. So this was a bit shocking to me because when it seems that if somebody is a bit lenient and even maybe popular amongst people who are not following everything up to the mark, up to the expectation of what the Shastras are saying, still such leniency and is considered all right in comparison to someone who would forcefully see to it that the things are done the proper way, on behalf of the Supreme Lord as a representative. Because sometimes in the course of executing the things the way they should be on behalf of the Supreme Lord, while doing that sometimes the firmness creates irritability in the hearts of people. It creates fear, as rightly said in the beginning today. That was a very enlightening point, that it's very easy to earn the fear and respect of the people, but not love of the people. You were saying that. So someone who is doing that may earn the fear and respect of people, but people may not love him because of the kind of force. So when I compare these two things, it seems to me that sometimes it is better to be lenient and go back to Godhead and not earn the offenses of, we don't commit offense to devotees, than be very rigid like in many other sections of Bhagavatam we find. And it will be taken as an offense by the people. And people lose love for the person, rather it only instills fear in the hearts of people. So I wanted to know about it.
Sometimes you should be more lenient. Does that answer your question? Yeah. And sometimes you should be more strict also. We have to use our good intelligence. And our good intelligence should be built on the foundation of proper motives. Now those motives are developed through hearing and chanting, through hearing the glories of the Lord and chanting the holy names of the Lord, and through our own service attitude. Krishna gives us the intelligence if we're taking to the process in our own lives without ulterior motives. That's really where realizations come from. To the degree we're following the process of Krishna consciousness, specifically hearing and chanting and rendering services, without ulterior motives. then through those 9 processes of devotional service, Krishna will give us realizations. And of course, we should consult others who have higher realizations than ourselves. And then when we are managing devotees, sometimes strictness is very necessary, sometimes leniency is very necessary. We have to know how to use each one. Yes? If we're just addicted to strictness, or we're just conditioned and addicted to leniency, we're going to be doing disservice in certain times and circumstances. Prabhupada would say, do the needful. Do what works. And Prabhupada was such an example. Sri Chaitanya, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, all the acharyas, we find so many examples of where they can be very strict and where they can be very lenient. Yes? If our strictness is suffocating a person, making it very impossible for a person, oppressive to a person, you're not helping his bhakti grow. It could be, in the name of Krishna consciousness, it could be doing just the opposite. It could be killing his bhakti. At the same time, if we're too lenient, we could be killing a person's bhakti. So we have to use our intelligence according to the kala desha patra, the time, the place, and the person. In Prabhupada's lectures, he was always very strict. Govinda Prabhu was speaking about this so excellently yesterday. I listened to the whole class. That sometimes, in order to keep a person in Krishna consciousness, to encourage them, he could be very lenient personally with the person. But in his lectures, Prabhupada was quite strict. He did not compromise. Yes? Prabhupada would do the needful. Sometimes Prabhupada would come and say, where are all the devotees? Say they're sleeping. Prabhupada once said, sleep is worse than illicit sex, oversleeping, because it puts you in the mode of ignorance. Other time a devotee is sick, Prabhupada says, you need more sleep. You should sleep nicely. Yes? So Prabhupada, according to what would help that devotee grow, that's what's all important. We should be considering the individual as well as the congregation around them. We should consider, we don't deviate from the philosophy, but how to present the philosophy with strictness or leniency in a way that will help that person to grow. If we're just fixed on one or the other, and we're conditioned and habituated to one or the other, then we're going to disempower, uninspire, and hurt devotees' lives. Yes? Does that answer your question? Hare Krishna.